Tudo Ferradas here for a quick episode today. We're going to talk about the brand new, announced just a few days ago, SLR Magic Image Enhancer ND 1.2. This 86mm linear ND cuts 4 stops of light, which by itself is already pretty good. This filter is designed as an add-on for SLR Magic's Variable ND MkII, which is an 82mm filter that cuts 6 stops of light. And by combining both, you get a range from 1 1/3 all the way up to 10 stops of light cutting. So now we have 2 filters to go from 1 1/3 all the way up to 10 ND stops. And the question is, why not combine those 2 things into one filter that goes from 1 1/3 all the way up to 10? And the answer is the artifacts that come from such strong filtration through a variable ND. And that is the cross effect, that if you have a strong variable ND, you're surely already noticed this, as well as massive color shifts towards green or magenta that also come with heavy levels of filtration. The image enhancing part of the name means this filter has a special coating designed specially to avoid infrared pollution that comes with heavy levels of filtration. So I was recently working on a short film called The Annalisa, and we happened to stack 2 3-stop NDs, and that made the image super red, as you can see. So I was very curious to see what this 10-stop ND would do and how they advertise it as fixing this issue of color shifting. My base lens was a 28mm contact size wide open at f2.8, and I chose this wide angle because variable NDs struggle with wider angles, and I just wanted to see if the world would burn. I had to change the shutter speed and the ISO to keep the exposure constant, but you can check all of those differences in the bottom of the frame. There's all the camera data there, and the top corner has a 250% crop in the piece of paper, so you can check how sharpness is affected as you dial up filtration. Unfortunately, the base lens isn't that sharp, but you can still draw the comparison between the original lens and the resulting image to see if sharpness is affected at all. Alright, here are the image comparisons. On the left, I have a non-filtered image, and on the right, we have increasing filtration. I shot this under the 1 p.m. sun, so highlights were hot. Anyway, the S-Log images aren't the best to see color shifting, so I added a neutral grade, boosting contrast and saturation. And here we are again for comparisons. What really matters to me is the naked images compared to the most filtered one. Side by side, I noticed the filtered image is slightly warmer after 10 stops. To my taste, it's more pleasant looking than the original one, as skin tones feel more natural and healthy. The paper crop easily shows this shift in color as well. In terms of sharpness, the text looks the same, meaning the 2 filters aren't noticeably messing up with resolution. No massive color shifts and no cross effect. Awesome. I've been using SLR Magic's Variable ND MkII pretty much since I reviewed it last year, and now I'm happy that I can boost it up to 10 stops without losing image quality with the addition of the IEND. The filter will be available on the market as of October of this year, and it will retail for $150. In the upcoming weeks, I'm going to review the SLR Magic Anamorphic Compact 1.3340. So if you want to check that out, you should subscribe now. If you have any questions about the IEND or just questions in general, shoot them in the comments below. And if you really like this channel, you want to support me, check out my Patreon page and get some neat rewards. I'm Tudo Ferradas, and I'll see you again next week with some anamorphic gear.